Did President Joe Biden just save Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from financial ruin? Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef, the Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the news and pop culture stories of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yes, today, breaking news, Joe Biden has spoken out about the Silicon Valley Bank collapse and what he's doing to save all the depositors' money so that no one loses even a cent. And that could include Meghan Markle and Prince Harry if the rumours and allegations are to be believed. Now, before I jump into all the details, there's a little bit of housekeeping. Firstly, YouTube human reviewer, I see you lurking. I'm not going to say any trigger words or anything that's going to offend your ear holes. And to everyone else awesome enough to have clicked on this video, hi, welcome, how are you doing? If you love this kind of news and pop culture on the daily, served with a little bit of sass and gobbiness, which is basically this, right? Do make sure you click on that subscribe button. Help us get to 100k. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories and whatevers. Also as well, for your consideration, you can always send me a super thanks, which is just below this video right here. Let's have a conversation because it does guarantee a response from me. And yeah, let's jump into this one, shall we? So I'm going to start with a little bit of a disclaimer here. So if the rumours are to be believed and the allegations to be believed that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle did bank with Silicon Valley Bank and they were on the hook of losing millions of dollars, no matter which way you slice it, the financial victims. It doesn't matter what I think of them or what my, I would like to say, fair criticisms are of them. They would be financial victims in that scenario and should be treated as such. Simple as, no arguments, no ifs, ands, or buts. They would be financial victims. It is as simple as that as far as I'm concerned. Now, if you haven't done so already, I do implore you first and foremost to watch my first video that I did on this over the weekend. I did a little bit of investigative work and I looked into the links that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may have with this particular bank and also Prince Harry's company that he works for, BetterUp. Now, once you've watched that, come back to this video. However, a little bit of a quick rundown. iSource News on Twitter over the weekend came with this allegation, this rumour, that Harry and Meghan stand to lose millions at that point in time in the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. The source said this is a major blow. They had all of Harry's money there. Further down the Twitter thread, it says that sources say the couple were using the bank to meet their daily expenses and monthly payroll obligations. Now, this is a thing, guys. So you could turn round and you could say, oh, well, you know, it's karma, this, that, and the other. But I absolutely disagree with that. All right. No one deserves to be a financial victim. No one should revel in someone being a financial victim, no matter who they are. And even if you took that kind of stance of, well, it's karma, well, I'm sorry, but no, because you've got two children that are involved in this kind of scenario, all right, if it's to be believed. You've got Princess Lilibet and Prince Archie that would be affected. But then you've got the people that work for Harry and Meghan that would also be affected, those that are on the payroll, right? That rely on the job that Meghan and Harry give them to be able to support their own families, their own children, their own lives, right? So there's a domino effect here that if this scenario was to be believed, is absolutely devastating, okay? This is why I'm very much strongly saying they are, in this scenario, financial victims. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, there were rumours over the weekend that today, Monday, there would be an announcement that it would be fixed in a way that anyone that banked with Silicon Valley, all their money would be saved. and that they would not lose out, not even a cent, okay? Now, President Joe Biden did speak out earlier on, and this is what he had to say. And this, if again, the scenario is to be believed that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry did bank with them, well, President Joe Biden just saved them from financial ruin, and this is how he's done it. Now, let's go in and listen to him right now.
Customers who had deposits in these banks have taken action, immediate action. And here are the highlights. First, all customers who had deposits in these banks can rest assured, rest assured they'll be protected and they'll have access to their money as of today.
Right. So, first and foremost, very, very important. Any depositors that used this bank from today, you have access to all your money. You've not lost anything. Every single cent, dollar, pound, penny is there right now for you. That would include, in this scenario, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Okay? By my calculations, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, right? I would hope, fingers crossed, it does, right? So, oh my goodness, President Joe Biden has just announced that depositors' money is saved. That if Meghan Markle and Prince Harry banked with this institution, he's just saved them from financial ruin. Brilliant news, great news. Now, how did he do that? He explained that guess what? It ain't the taxpayers that's funding this, all right? Because I saw a few comments over the weekend on that video saying, well, you know, if they are saved, then we're going to be bailing them out. No. What's happened is all the institutions in the financial sector, or some of them at the very least in America, they all paid into what you would say is like a slush fund, right? So that if a scenario like this happened, where a big major financial institution like Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, then this slush fund would then be used to ensure that anyone that banked with them, any depositors that banked with them, their money was saved. That this slush fund would replace any losses to ensure that anyone that banked with them would not lose a cent, dollar. It would be essentially fully insured. Okay, it would be a plan B, an insurance package, that kind of situation, all right? So in this scenario, this slush fund that the financial institutions have paid in, Joe Biden is using that to save the depositors that use Silicon Valley Bank, including, again, if the rumours and allegations to be believed, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. All right. Let's see. What else did Joe Biden say about this? How else has he saved them?
Businesses across the country that bank there and need to make payroll, pay their bills, and stay open for business. No losses will be, and this is an important point, no losses will be borne by the taxpayers. Let me repeat that. No losses will be borne by the taxpayers.
All right. So another major announcement from President Joe Biden, which is that anyone that banks with this Silicon Valley Bank that is scared that they can't make payroll to their employers, guess what? Don't be scared anymore. He's just saved you. All right. And that includes, again, if the scenario is to be believed, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, because according to the sources that iSource News has got, apparently, one of the major concerns for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle was, oh my goodness, we use that account for the payroll. Like, are we going to pay our employees? They don't have to worry about that anymore. President Joe Biden has just lifted that humongous weight off of their shoulders. That must be an amazing feeling to have, all right? And I'm really, really happy for them that they've got that weight off of their shoulders. Again, if the rumours and allegations are to be believed that they banked with Silicon Valley, okay? Now, let's carry on and find out what else President Joe Biden said. And he was very emphatic. The taxpayer is not paying for this bailout because of what I just explained a few moments ago. But here we go.
Instead, the money will come from the fees that banks pay into the Deposit Insurance Fund. Because of the actions that our regulators have already taken, every American should feel confident that their deposits will be there if and when they need them. Second, the management of these banks will be fired. If the bank is taken over by FDIC, The people running the bank should not work there anymore.
Boo! Yeah! Yes! Yes! The people that ran it into the ground, why the deuce should you still be employed? Abso-freaking-lutely. President Joe Biden has absolutely done his best Donald Trump apprentice impression and been like, you're fired! And remember, again, watch the video below if you haven't seen that first. 12 days prior to this bank collapsing, you had the CEO, the CFO, and the CMO all of a sudden, seems, selling shares of the bank for millions of dollars. Now, at the time, they were following the rules. There was nothing untoward about it. But now there's a little bit of a side eye to that because, hey, the timing could be a coincidence or it could not be. All right. So really, really good move from President Joe Biden to fire the management to ensure that this bank is not, hopefully, run into the ground again. That would again make financial victims out of those that bank with this institution, which includes, again, the allegations of rumors to be believed, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So that's another way that President Joe Biden has saved them. Let's go back and see what else he says in terms of this 4-point plan that he's put in place and implemented.
Third, investors in the banks will not be protected. They knowingly took a risk, and when the risk didn't pay off, investors lose their money. That's how capitalism works. And fourth.
So this speaks to BetterUp and Lightspeed, okay, potentially. So I explained over the weekend in a nutshell that reason to believe that BetterUp via the venture capitalist firm Lightspeed invested in Silicon Valley Bank in some way, shape or form or whatever, right? Now, if that is to be believed, if that is the case, Joe Biden's turning around and saying, guess what, BetterUp? You gambled, you lost, that's capitalism, you win some, you lose some, that's it. You're going to have to swallow it and that's it. Again, if this is the scenario, right? Now, this is quite a scary scenario to look at because the question then becomes, well, how much then in that situation has BetterUp lost as a result of Silicon Valley Bank's collapse? Is it a loss that they can take and still continue? Or is it a loss whereby their existence is then called into question? And if that's the case, then everything then is called into question with that organization, right? Which includes jobs and who works there. Yes, none other than Prince Harry. So his job may be on the line in that situation, as is everyone's job would be on the line then in that situation. That is horrific and absolutely awful if that is the case, right? But yeah, President Joe Biden has turned around and said, well, yeah, in that scenario, we're not bailing you out because that's capitalism at the end of the day. And, you know, tough. That's pretty much his stance on that. And then the fourth thing that he says, let's go on.
There are important questions of how these banks got into the circumstance in the first place. We must get the full accounting of what happened and why those responsible can be held accountable. In my administration, no one is above the law. And finally, we must reduce.
So, firstly, it's really, really good to see that he's turning around and saying, no, we're going to find out why this happened, who's responsible, and guess what? No one's above the law. We're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent. There's going to be consequences. There's going to be accountability. And I'm all here for that. That is absolutely brilliant news, okay? And President Joe Biden does have a final point. So let's go on to that now.
The risk of this happening again. During the Obama-Biden administration, we put in place tough requirements on banks like Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, including the Dodd-Frank law to make sure that the crisis we saw in 2008 would not happen again. Unfortunately, the last administration rolled back some of these requirements. I'm going to ask Congress and the banking regulators to strengthen the rules for banks to make it less likely this kind of bank failure would happen again. and to protect American jobs and small businesses.
Okay, so, right. Firstly, yeah, brilliant to bring back the tough restrictions and the rules to ensure that this doesn't happen again, all right? So for anyone that then continues to bank elsewhere or with Silicon Valley in its new iteration, whatever that may look like, President Joe Biden is like, look, I'm going to bring back the reforms that myself and Obama brought in back in the day to try and ensure that this does not happen again. Okay. So to avoid people like, again, if the scenario is to be believed, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry from being financial victims again. Now that's brilliant news. Okay. Safeguarding their financial future and others' financial future as well. Brilliant news. However, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with President Joe Biden. It's this. He has been in office for how many years now? If he knew that President Donald Trump at the time rolled back all those safeguards, right? Why is President Joe Biden only waiting until now, after this massive collapse has happened, to be like, right, we're bringing back all those reforms to make sure this doesn't happen again? He should have done it well before this. So for him to try and pass the buck and be like, oh, well, it's all the previous administration's fault, I think is very weak. President Joe Biden has been in power now for a few years. He has had the time to try and get these reforms back into play, and he hasn't done. So part of the responsibility, as far as I'm concerned, as to why in this scenario, if it's to be believed, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are in this situation, is partly down to Joe Biden as well. However, credit where credit's due. Joe Biden has put things in place and will put things in place to A, save them and many, many others from financial ruin, which is brilliant news, and B, put things in place to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Firing the management, getting those that are to blame to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law, and putting those safeguards back in place so hopefully this does not happen again and avoids people like, again, if the scenario is to be believed, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from being financial victims again. Brilliant news, okay? Brilliant news. And all that, including using the slush fund to ensure that people that banked with Silicon Valley, like hypothetically Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, are not losing a cent of their money, is how President Joe Biden has saved them and so many others from epic financial ruin. Now, with that being said, enough with my gob. It's now time for your gobs. Comment down below, what do you think? And if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, there's going to be more. Do make sure you click on that subscribe button. Help us get to 100k so we can get that silver play button right there. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's on this one. Also as well, for your consideration, you can always send me a super thanks, which is just below this video right here. Let's have a conversation because it does guarantee a response from me. And until the next time, you guys, laters.